tell you that, it was amazing to run into Matt, all the way back to business school. Amazing reputation, we both have a passion to serve this community. And really, kind of how the story even started, which I don't know that I've had the opportunity to tell you guys, but my background, third generation soldier, grandfather was a sergeant major in the Army, father was a West Point grad, taught there, got out as a colonel. Both my uncles are senior enlisted, first sergeant, sergeant first class. My little brother's a naval ensign. His wife's an Army JAG lawyer. He's at Norfolk. She's at Eustis. So the military really has been, my family is everything that I've known growing up as a family member, seeing my mom go through it, and then, later on as an actual captain. So went to Iraq for 15 months, led a recon platoon from 06 to 07. We were hunting high-value Al-Qaeda targets. Came back, saw there was a lot of staff work ahead of me if I stayed in the military, and thought I could give back in a different way. So I told my boss, hey, I want to go to business school. And he had done his MFA in Russian at Harvard. And he's like, hey man, if you're going to go to business school, you're going to apply to Harvard. And I was like, come on, get out of here. 8 months later, I was in the classroom. So that was kind of a whirlwind experience. The kind of pipeline for a lot of MBAs is to go to these prestigious consulting jobs, everything else. And so Matt and I went down and did an internship with McKinsey Consulting in Atlanta last summer. Loved the people there, brilliant folks. Just wasn't passionate about consulting for what I wanted to do. And as I was driving back up to Boston, I started thinking about all the different pain points that I knew from both growing up and then later on as a captain, all the different frustrations from moving around, deploying, training, just being separated so often. So I called up Matt, and I said, hey man, with how often we move, with how often we deploy, training, everything else, how tightly knit this community is, why isn't there somewhere we can go online to interact in an environment that's exclusive to us? So Matt is, he's always going to be one of the most modest guys you've ever met, but his track record is unbelievable. Just getting to know him as a friend, his mom worked 2 different jobs.
3. Yeah.
She brought him and his brother up. She worked 3 different jobs by herself.
Yeah.
Matt was enlisted, then went to VMI. He was the first captain of VMI, so the top cadet. Graduated, went on tour with the 101st, was one of the first platoons in Fallujah when Iraq was going nuts. Then went to the Rangers and served 3 more tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. I saw the newspaper articles where his commanding officer in the Rangers said simply the best officer among a group of officers that had been handpicked from across the Army. And then, at Ranger School, honor grad, was the only Ranger I've ever heard of who peered 100% in all 3 phases, which means that and I know he only knows for sure about 2 of them, but that's unbelievable. I mean, I've never heard of a Ranger getting all of the other 14, 15 guys saying, that guy's the best. Because buddies strike deals all the time where if they're worried about getting peered or whatever, it's like, hey, we'll rate each other number 1, and that way, we skate by. So the fact that it's like, we'll rate each other number 2, we'll rate Ranger Thompson number 1. I mean, that should tell you everything you know. That when the chips are down, when you're starving, and you can't sleep, Matt's the type of guy who, will always put you before him. And so it's been terrific, and a team is what's going to make this work. And it's just awesome to be able to work with them every day. So armed with that, we went out. We were able to get seed funding coming out of business school, where Dave Tisch, who's managing director at Techstars New York City, and one of our classmates who had a lot of experience in early stage private equity gave us enough money to go out and really do some research. Service members, veterans, and spouses. And by far of those 3 groups, the most underserved in the community were military spouses. And it just came up over and over again. We move once every 3 years, and so we can't find jobs that we can be consistently employed and have a career path. So what we found is that being a military spouse is incredibly lonely, especially if you have kids to take care of. It just keeps you tied more and more to the home and limits your opportunities to go out and to meet new folks anyway. So the 2 insights there were need an employment opportunity and something that you can love what you do and really have a sense of entrepreneurship and ownership over it. And 2, something that gets you out and sort of provides a social network that isn't tied up with the professional stuff. So the vision, the vision really is to eventually grow into this really go-to site that serves the community by empowering. If there's anything I've learned over the last few weeks from watching you ladies work, is that you guys are an unstoppable force of nature.